Good evening, New Mexico Tech, and welcome to KTEK News. I'm Rio Sessions, and I'll be one of your hosts for tonight. Our first story takes us to admissions, where our Associate Director of Admissions, Joe Payan, has chosen to move on from New Mexico Tech and pursue other opportunities. Associate Director Payan has made his mark on New Mexico Tech, and we're grateful for his service to the university. Unfortunately, this means, according to the admissions website, this leaves us with no leadership in this office. In addition to changes in admissions, we have also seen a personnel change in financial aid, with New Mexico Tech welcoming the newly hired interim director, Zelda Vinson. Recently, financial aid has had some trouble keeping up with staffing, which resulted in the office struggling to handle the volume of financial aid requests, despite working as diligently as possible. We're excited to welcome Director Vinson on and look forward to seeing what she is able to do. This past weekend, New Mexico Tech welcomed 236 middle and high school finalists to present their work at the New Mexico State Science and Engineering Fair. This was an intense challenge, with students showcasing their best work to judges from New Mexico Tech and across the state, with the high school students competing for 5 spots to the international fair. Students generally had a great time competing, and New Mexico Tech received some very positive feedback about the event. We look forward to hopefully welcoming some of these students to campus next year, and we can't wait to see what they come up with next. Now, on to the weather. This weekend is looking to bring us some quirky weather. Tonight, we're looking at winds from 20 to 25 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 35 miles per hour and a low of 45 degrees. Friday brings us similar conditions, with winds of 20 to 25 miles per hour and a high of 74. At night, we can expect winds to decrease to 10 to 15 miles per hour, but gusting up to 30 miles per hour and a low of 41 degrees. Saturday brings us a 50% chance of precipitation with a slight chance of snow showers before 9 a.m. We can expect a high near 59 on Saturday with a low of 36 on Saturday night. As usual, Sunday and early next week return to sunny skies with highs in the 70s and 80s, and at night, lows in the 40s. This report was retrieved from the National Weather Service site today at 6 p.m. Now to Melina after the break.
Hello everyone. Recently, the President's Executive Cabinet sent an email outlining updates for federal funding. They prefaced their email by stating that New Mexico Tech, like many other research institutions, are facing budget cuts due to reallocation of government funding by the Trump administration. But due to planning and management, NMT is in a good spot for continuing research and campus operations as normal as possible. First, they list a cap of 15% indirect costs for the DOE, under which NMT has several grants. To simplify, indirect costs allow NMT to pay for facilities and administrations to support the research funded by the DOE. This does not cut the funding for research proposed, but it does lower funding for upkeep for facilities and administration. They emphasize that these cuts may lower NMT's ability to support infrastructure, but their conservative budgeting will help reduce the effects of these cuts. Additionally, they've made sure that no grants are canceled as a result of these cuts. They hope that these cuts will be challenged in federal court, like the cost cap imposed on the National Institute of Health earlier this year. On April 14th, a group of higher education associations filed a federal lawsuit in the U.S. District Court against the cost cap. They included a summary as well of the effect of recent funding changes that have had an effect on the NMT awards. 2 awards have been canceled, but alternative funding has been allocated to the students and the staff. 3 active DOE awards were modified due to the stop work notice for DEI outreach objectives. 3 pending awards were modified to remove DEI objectives, and 2 awards are paused awaiting instruction from the DOE. The offices of the Vice President of Research and the VP of Administration and Finance are monitoring the situation closely and developments in the lawsuits and are not planning on making any drastic changes anytime soon. If you have questions or concerns, reach out directly to the VP of Research or the VP of Administration, Delilah Walsh. Next on the list, the catwalk between Jones Annex and Jones Hall is underway, which some of you may have noticed from the guard walls around the construction site, blocking most of people's paths into the buildings. The deadline for the project has been extended to May 23rd, as demolition brought necessary repairs needed for the patio to light. On good note, the team will try and keep the noise to a minimum for the weeks of finals. Finally, the announcements. SRS is just around the corner. Presentations run from Tuesday through Friday next week, with poster sessions, showcases, and oral presentations. Please visit the NMT SRS website for more information. Next, Tri Beta is hosting a handful of Earth Day celebrations for the next week. Feel free to screenshot the image on the screen to stay in the loop. Finally, if you would like your event announced by KTEK News, make sure to send an email to us or message us on our socials. That's all we have for now. Enjoy the long weekend, and we'll see you next time.